So this is my son's car. It is a Hyundai Veloster. It is the fourth car that he has bought in the last 2 months. And this video is the explanation of that. I gotta figure out how am I gonna tell this story? So Caden has been working since he was 14, and when he turned 16, he bought a 2008 Ultima Coupe, paid cash for it. When he turned 18, he wanted to trade that in for a Hyundai Veloster. But he had very specific desires. He wanted a particular type, he wanted to make sure that it had the turbo, and he wanted a manual 6-speed transmission. So he scoured the internet and he found one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we drive down to Dallas-Fort Worth, trade in the Ultima Coupe, and drive back the Hyundai Veloster. But 8 days after that, he was involved in an accident and accidentally rear ends another car, so this is now total, and now we have to go through insurance. We eventually get through insurance, and he finds another Hyundai Veloster. This one is also in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we drive down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area to purchase the second Hyundai Veloster, and we drive it back up. However, we get about as far as Gainesville, and this happens. And so we had to leave the Hyundai Veloster in Gainesville, right at the Texas-Oklahoma border, and call the dealership and say, come get your car. So we leave that here. We drive my vehicle back up to Oklahoma. We don't get 10 minutes out of Gainesville, and the air conditioning in my vehicle goes out. So we have to drive the next 2 hours in the hot Oklahoma, Texas heat all the way back home. My son finds a third Hyundai Veloster. This one's in Tulsa. This is the oldest of all the cars he's looked at so far, and it also has the most miles. It's like 115,000 miles. It's not the decision I would recommend, but when you're raising teenagers, I mean, sometimes you have to let them make their own decisions. They need to own those, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. So we drive up to Tulsa to look at this vehicle. Now, this vehicle just came on the lot, and they haven't run it through their normal service process as far as just like their 15-point, just check all the things, are we proud to sell this vehicle? But they say, we'll let you test drive this today, and if there's anything wrong or anything you want to make sure is a thing before you buy it, we'll write all that stuff down, we'll make sure it's good. So we drive it, the check engine light comes on, the tires are a little bit worn. We write all that stuff down, say, barring that you fix all these different things, we're more than happy to purchase the vehicle. Now, we're supposed to go on vacation the next day, and Caden had actually arranged to get a loaner car from this dealership. They agreed to do that, and so we leave this car in Tulsa, we take the loaner car so that we have an extra vehicle to take on vacation, and we drive back home. However, the day that we're supposed to go on vacation, my son drives the loaner car to Walmart, and when he gets out of Walmart, the car will not come out of park. Little shifter thing, it'll move, but the car won't come out of park. It just, the transmission, the computer will not allow the transmission to engage. This is where Caden goes berserk. So we leave that car in the Walmart parking lot. We still need to go on vacation, and so we wind up renting a car that we can take on vacation. We go on vacation. While we're at vacation, we get a call from the dealership, and they said, we can't sell you this car because while we were running it through service, the engine broke, like just completely totaled through a rod, so we can't. So what happened next, I was pretty proud of, because after kind of going through the emotions that I think any kid, adolescent, adult would go through. He goes, you know, I've been looking at a certain range. What if I upped my range a little bit? Not to say that I want to spend a lot more money, but there might be the car just on the other side of that range. And he was right. So this car is gone. This one, eventually, I guess they picked up. He finds a fourth Hyundai Veloster. This is the newest one that we have found. It has the least amount of miles. However, it is all the way here in Houston. So we drive all the way from Oklahoma City to Houston to buy our fourth Hyundai Veloster. We drive back, spent the night in Dallas, and we drive those vehicles back to Oklahoma City. And fingers crossed, that was a month ago. And I think we might have broken the curse.
It's like we've been here before.
Maybe once or twice.
Once or twice, or 4 times?
No,
Well, 3 times.
Three.
Three
Once
times. But 4th time's the charm.
Yeah.